is we're gonna continue to talk about the creation of the virtual church model that we're working from. We want to even hear from some of you about what you're doing and what you're thinking. As well, we're going to talk about a question that was asked on a Facebook Live that I was doing, and it was so interesting because when the question was asked, we hadn't thought about it, and then all of a sudden we found ourselves needing to deal with it, and so we're going to talk about what does a virtual partner look like, and I think in many ways people haven't really asked that question. I think we're just trying to warehouse viewers instead of really wrestling with this process and really kind of dealing with it from a very real way. So I'm going to open up in prayer, and then I'm going to see if we can pull up an article. And if not, we want to send this article to everybody. I know some of you probably already have it. So come on, let's open up in prayer. Father, in the name of Jesus Christ, we thank you. We love you. We praise you for the opportunity to keep growing, to keep trying to think this through, to keep working together to provide a framework for how virtual ministry is done, but also more importantly, for how we advance the kingdom of God. And so we give your name praise, glory, and honor in Jesus' name, amen. Again, welcome all of you to the pastors who are on. Thank you to those who serve in ministry with your pastor. Again, thank you. We're actually doing these Fridays to just kind of help each other work through the process. At St. Paul, we are putting a lot of energy and effort into the building of this virtual system. And so last week, an email was sent to me, and I'm going to see an article was sent to me. I'm going to see if I can find it. No, let me see if I can locate it somewhere. I'm going to see if I can find the article. Okay. Can everybody see that? Anybody? Can everybody see that? Is that visible?
No, sir.
Huh? Okay, no one. Y'all can't see it? Okay.
No, sir, it's not visible.
Okay. Okay, I'm trying to share this article, and I don't know how to do that up here. Connect to OneDrive. Okay. Okay, executive pastor. Okay, I'm going to make a mess. So I'm not going to make the mess. Cotton, are you able to put up the article?
Let me try to locate it.
Okay.
Hold on.
All right. Let me first of all, let me hear from everybody. How's the process going? Does anybody want to speak to their process? Anybody want to speak to their process?
Hey, Bishop, can you hear me?
I can.
Yes, sir. We have not reopened yet, but as I said before, we have put together a list of protocols to keep people safe. And I think as it relates to our protocols, we're ready. We're waiting to hear some more information from the CDC as well as our governor as it relates to the guidelines for churches reopening. But that's the only thing we're waiting on right now. We have quite a few want to get back in the church, but I still have not opened up as of yet. So.
Okay. And anybody else? Where you at in your process? Anybody? I can tell you that we are.
Bishop.
Okay, go ahead.
I just left my church. I just left my church a minute ago, and we had it sanitized from a professional company. And your volume here. We just shut it down from A professional company came and sanitized the whole building, cleans the carpet and everything. And so we have a 90-day sanitizer on there that it kills any kind of virus that goes. It costs us about $700, but we had the whole entire building. They did every office, every bathroom, the whole entire sanctuary. It's guaranteed for 90 days to kill any virus, including COVID-19, influenza, and everything. So that's what we are in our process. We're going to open back up the first Sunday. We have nurses in the church that will be doing the scanning for temperatures, as well as masks going to be required. So that's what we're kind of looking at right now.
Okay. All right. All right. Anybody else?
Hey.
Anyone else? Okay. Kyle, are you able to pull it up? You're muted.
Yeah, Napoleon is gonna pull it up for me.
Okay. All right, cool. All right. All right. All right. Does everybody see the article now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. This article was sent out. I think I sent it to my ministry sons and daughters as well. I think Pastor Jones, I think I sent it to our group text. And I know I sent it to Pastor Jeff Dennis as well. Stop right there. I want to take a few moments and just kind of walk through this article with you because I think this article really speaks of some very important things, and then we'll talk about the virtual church model and just kind of talk about the expectations of virtual church partnership. It was interesting. This article really kind of sparked some things, and so if you read the quote, crisis is not just a disruptor; it's an accelerator. And so go up, Napoleon. Go up some. All right, go down some. Go down some. Yeah. Okay. Good. If you look at the article, Napoleon, can you highlight? It's on Napoleon's screen. Can you highlight right there? It says 48% of churchgoers say they have not watched any church online in the last 4 weeks. Now, if everybody takes that number and looks at your own church, even though your numbers have increased, this is suggesting that a lot of our members or our partners aren't even engaged in church at any level. Some may be Zoom exhausted or social media exhausted by the time they get to church, but they are not even watching. And so a part of what we have to do is to look critically at what we're offering, not on Sunday, but on Monday through Saturday. Go up some. All right, okay, good. Keep going. Keep going. There you go. All right, go ahead. All right, so what they are, stop right there. So what they are anticipating is that larger churches are going to get larger and smaller churches may get smaller. So there's a statement, and Napoleon also highlight the last statement in number 1. Everyone you want to reach in your region is online. One of the things that we made a decision to do is to now target our social media on our region more than on our national, reach. Now, I think this is important because at some level, your church is going to reopen. It is important to build a virtual community, but it's equally as important to stay engaged and relational with your region. We've had a couple of people join. Everybody that's joined our church during this time has been local. I think we had a couple of people join that was from someplace else, but almost everybody who's joined has been local. Regionally, you have to be able to reach your people virtually. And so a part of what this will do is is that, and go back up, Napoleon, to a first small and mid-sized church will have to find their niche. This is going to be important, Jeff. What is your niche? What is your unique offering to the body of Christ? And because you're going to have to identify your niche, it's going to be important that you do not engage in unnecessary activity. It is going to be so important that you stay focused on the building of your niche and the development of your niche. So one of the things I want to encourage you to do, if you are a pastor, ask this to your leadership team. If you are part of a leadership team or staff, ask this to your pastor. What is our niche? And identify your niche. Okay, let's go to number 2 real quick. Okay, number 2 is simple. It ain't gonna be what you think, so don't get your hopes up so high. Okay, 3. Okay, this is probably gonna be the most important shift. How do you marry digital with your physical location? Pastor Jeff Dennis, who is my intellectual pastoral partner, he and I often engage in these kind of conversations. And one of the things that's so interesting, and the reason why I'm taking time to do this, is because a part of what you've got to be willing to do is to accept the fact that people are not going to return to the sanctuary. Because they're not going to return to the sanctuary. You're going to have to think about how to be Amazon as much as you think about how to be St. Paul Missionary Baptist Church of Jacksonville. You're going to have to figure out how to be Amazon as much as it is trying to be J.C. Penney's. There is a commitment then that has to be made to the virtual. All right? Okay, let's go up. And we can send you this article because I think it's an important article for you to read. Number 4 is huge. Agility will become one of the most important valuable leadership qualities. You're going to have to make decisions on the fly. You can't be a rigid leader. Virtual is going to change everything. I'll give you a perfect example. You can take us off the there you go. One of the things that I learned, hey, Pastor Arthur Jones, good to see you, my brother. Good to see you. One of the most important lessons I learned was this week. I have we're doing all the right stuff. We're doing the surveys. We're doing all the right stuff. We're doing all the right stuff. We're doing all the right. I think we're doing all the right stuff. But it was interesting. I hadn't spent any time with my young adults this whole time. So my young adult leader asked me to come on a Zoom with her and her leadership team. Well, by accident, Scott Cotton and I put it in our SPNBC Jax Partners group that I wanted to meet with all the young adults. So we had a few young adults get on. 2 things I discovered. First of all, they are whipped by this. Young adults are going under. They are dealing with depression. They're dealing with loneliness. They're dealing with shattered dreams or delayed dreams. They're just in a mess. So my wife and I started talking to them, and we had an amazing revelation. The amazing revelation. And here it is. We needed to restructure how we relate to every age group. Because I saw that if I did not spend time with our young adults, I was going to lose them. Because here's the craziest thing. Everybody says, oh, young adults love social media. No, I was discovering my young adults wasn't even watching church because they are bored by a 35-minute service. So yeah, they're on social media, but they're not watching us, right? So we up here thinking, so we're going, oh no, this is where we're going to reach millennials. No, this is where you lose millennials. We think we're winning millennials in this season. Our viewing demographic is 45 to 59. They're more prone to sit and watch us than a 25-year-old whose mind is racing from Instagram to Facebook to TikTok. They're not. So a part of what we started having to do was to figure out how to rethink this. So for 4 straight weeks, 9:30 at night, my wife and I are going to spend time with our young adults, just our young adults. We're going to focus them on their personal discipleship, but we can't badger them on reading the Bible. I made that decision. Hey, Pastor Jones, I made that decision within 10 minutes of being on a Zoom call. Agile leadership. Even if you create a virtual system, you got to keep changing it because the dynamics are changing. Our executive pastor has a very good relationship with Nona Jones. I wish I could claim the relationship, but it's all his. And so we are submitting a letter to her. She's already verbally agreed. Nona Jones is the faith-based guru for Facebook, right? She's developing a lot of she's leading in the development of Facebook's commitment to religious organizations. And Nona has agreed to do a exclusive presentation with whoever we invite to the table. So all of y'all are welcome to come, right? But here's the thing that Nona said to us. Nona said, create more fun so that they'll at least want to do faith. So you got to find creative ways. And a part of what the article was saying, and again, give us your emails and we'll send you the article and we'll send you the link because it's a very good article. I think one of the things that everybody's got to understand is even when you open up, I'm going to promise everybody on this call something. Even when you open up, the optics of 100 and something people sitting in a room with masks on is not going to make you want to preach. It's going to be more depressing because it's going to be a reminder that this hasn't gone away. Let me tell you how amazing the fluidity of this season is. We pre-record, and so we had recorded Sunday last weekend. All this stuff that happened, I woke up this morning, called my team and said, I gotta redo this Sunday's message because if I don't address this George Floyd thing, I'm being irresponsible. So the fluidity of this season is that you get to do makeovers, right? Don't act like y'all ain't been, those who've been preaching, don't act like you ain't had that bubble in the middle. You said, cut, let me go back, start over. Let me say this better than what I just said. If you have, that's why I am not doing any more live streamings. I am much better when I get to say cut, right? So go back to the article, and then I'm gonna have Cotton and Ray just kind of talk about what we've discovered this week in our process. Thank you all for being on. Go up, keep going, go past 4. Okay, I can't remember what 5 is. Yes, right there. Virtual and flexible staff teams will be the new normal. As of right now, my church staff beginning in July will work 1 day a week, Monday, and then the rest of the week they will be virtual. Because what I'm discovering is that to bring people back into a building, it's not going to be. So you have to be more flexible in how you manage not only your staff, but in how you manage your volunteers and how they will manage the work. Go to 6. Okay, spiritual formation will shift from facility-based to home-based. I would encourage everybody on this Zoom to open up, and this is key, to open up the floodgates of discipleship via virtual. People are not going to feel comfortable gathering. They are going to feel comfortable. They are going to feel comfortable in person. They are going to feel comfortable, however, being discipled. So the wisdom of this season is going to be that you create opportunities for people to find discipleship. Okay, let's move up. Okay, here's the last thing. On-demand access will eclipse live events. You can take me off. Okay, I would encourage every pastor, go back. We did this week. We did 2 things. first thing we did this week, Pastor Ardell, is that we redid our budget for the remainder of the year. We redid our budget for the remainder of the year. Okay. I think I was talking to Jeff Dennis this week. We redid our budget, but here's the other thing we did. We made a commitment to our calendar. Okay. We redid our budget, but we made a commitment to our calendar. So in April, we did a virtual men's weekend. In all of May, we did a virtual women's experience. In June, we're doing our church anniversary. I actually got that from Pastor Ardell Jones. We're doing our church anniversary, and I've got two preachers, Jerry Carter, Bill Curtis, are going to send in sermons and preach. And we do this thing called Salute the Scholars. And our executive pastor said, why don't we do it the way they did it with Channel 4? So we're going to do a virtual experience with the families and our kids in our Salute the Scholars. And then we're going to do the drive around or drive through giving of the medallion, because we always give trophies, medallions, and certificates, right? In September, we're going to do a virtual intensive. That's right, brothers and sisters from KFI. We going to do virtual this year. But the guy that was supposed to preach, I'm going to have him still preach for me on that third Sunday. Then in Thanksgiving, we're going to do our Thanksgiving to remember. And we're going to do it all virtual. Now, I want to encourage you not to cancel your calendar. Keep your church calendar, because they need normalcy.
Right.
Right? Don't cancel anything. Go. First of all, it's cheaper. Right? Right? You ain't got to pay for no room. You ain't got to pay for no ticket. Yeah, it's cheaper. You can get almost any gospel artist you want right now. You can have the best gospel artist you can put your hand on. Fred Hammond is telling folk for some folk, he said he'll sing for $500. Listen, I got Jason Nelson. I'm not telling you what I got him for. I'm just telling you, you can get anybody right there. So this is a good time for you to edit somebody into your worship service. I'm just saying. They probably don't want to hear that. But I'm sure right now, anybody who's singing anything will want to sing for you. All right? I would encourage you not to cancel anything. Virtual. Everything you do virtual. All your women's stuff, all your men's stuff, everything virtual. Okay. Cotton, Ray, the biggest challenge we had this week was discovering that we didn't define what a virtual partner looks like. One of the things that I've discovered in this whole process, and I'm doing more talking than I should today, one of the things I've discovered in this process is that my only concern initially was numbers, but I didn't really think about it. And then one day I'm doing this live, and one of our partners, who's not the most engaged person, asked the biggest question that needed to be asked in this moment. And the question was, what does a virtual partner look like? What does it look like when we say that we want virtual partners, or our church is now virtual? What is the expectation of a virtual partner? Cotton, real quick, can you put up what we have?
I have it on my tablet. I haven't translated it to my computer yet.
Okay. All right. Okay.
See what I can do.
Okay. Let me see. Let me see what I can do. Okay. Okay. You go ahead and start talking.
Okay. So as Bishop Guns was saying, we were really building this virtual system. And our mindset was, we want to create an opportunity for our partners and then those who are viewing our streaming to connect. And we wanted to keep some normalcy for our partners at St. Paul. So we were making a decision. We wasn't going to cancel any of our activities. Let's be as creative as possible in terms of how can we do things virtually. So we started doing that. And then as Bishop said, we were on a call, we were on a Zoom. And one of our partners raised the question, what does a virtual partner look like? And the moment that partner said that, my wheels went to turning, as well as Bishop. And on our service weekly call, we started really wrestling with that thought. I gave an idea in terms of what I had kind of created. And then as a team, we began to really hammer down on what this virtual partner was going to look like. Because one of the things that we quickly understood was we're putting this virtual system together for people to connect, to become a part of our ministry wherever they are, and then for our partners to stay engaged so we can continue to facilitate our vision and our mission, that we can continue to offer a holistic approach for our partners so they continue to grow, worship, and be connected. But we never really thought of what was the measurement of that person who connect. We were looking at the measurement, how we going to measure their, people coming on, looking at the numbers and everything. But for us at the church, what's going to be the measurement of a virtual partner? How will we know that a virtual partner has connected, but also how they're growing in what we offer? So we begin to look at 3 aspects of what we consider a virtual partner that we can measure them by, and is what's on the screen now. Is the engaged, vested, and assimilated. So once we got those 3, we begin to really break them down, asking the true question: what does engagement look like? So the way we see it is engaged is you're participating, you're watching or viewing the streaming, and then you're communicating. This fits into who St. Paul is. This fits into our vision and our mission, particularly our mission, because our mission is about making disciples, but we want a disciple to be healthy, mature, passionate, and committed to making other disciples. So we offer discipleship. We offer the tools for discipleship through a program we have called Living Extraordinary Groups. It's our small discipleship groups, LEGS for short. So we want to get them participating. We want to get them engaged in our fellowship ministries. Fellowships are a big deal to us. So we want them to get engaged. So we're bringing all of our spiritual formation and our fellowship components to virtual. But the question is, are they engaged through our virtual system with that? And are they communicating it? Are they really talking and being engaged in the conversation while they're virtual? And then we talked about what's vested. What is vested? What is a vested virtual partner? That's a person who buys in. They buy into the ministry of St. Paul, even though they are not physically connected. They're brought in. So even for our partners, they're brought in. They're going to make sure that that they are sold to the fact that we're in this season 1, but also that they're sold in the fact that we are going to continue to offer ministry to them. And their response to that is, I'm going to be vested first in my giving. I'm going to make sure that my church still have the funds, that I am first committed to the biblical instructions of giving, but also to make sure that I'm funding the ministry of my church, even though it's virtual. There's things that we are still doing, we're still providing. Bishop bring in special guests, even it's virtual. We want to be a blessing to them. So we're still doing that. And then sharing. We don't want you just to see what we're promoting on our social media pages. We want you to be so vested till you'll share it with others. We want you to be so vested that you want your friends and your families and all of your followers on your social media pages to connect to what St. Paul is doing. And then to protect. There's a lot of talk now. There's a lot of challenges that those of us that are in ministry full time, or those of us who are Christians, we're facing. People challenge our faith in this COVID-19 season, but we want a vested partner to be able to protect what we're doing. Why are you on virtual? Why are they doing this? And the mayor, the president say we can open up, but we want them to really protect the church, and then also protect our leader. We want to cover Bishop in prayer, the decisions that he is having to make, the things that he is facing and having to deal with in this season that none of us was prepared for. Every day something is changing. We want to make sure we're protecting our bishop. And then assimilate. Now this is important, because if we're getting you engaged, if we're getting you buy-in, we want you to be assimilated. And we started looking at, what does an assimilated virtual partner look like? Are they model? What are they modeling? They're modeling the vision and the mission of St. Paul. Even though we're doing it virtually, they are modeling discipleship. So they become that model. But also, again, they're connected. If you're assimilated, you have to be connected to the aspects of what we're offering in terms of fellowship and discipleship, in terms of spiritual formation, in terms of being able to grow in our worship. And then the last one, of course, is love. St. Paul is a church that's striving to become the most caring covenant Christian community that the world has ever seen. So if you're virtual, we want you to be assimilated into this loving atmosphere. Now, one of the things that's so amazing to us is when we're doing our live stream on Sundays, we have our partners watching. Well, we have our digital altar ministry, as they are known in this season, our digital altar ministry. They're watching the service, but their eyes on the comments. They're waiting to see somebody say, I need prayer. They're waiting to see somebody say they want to join the ministry. Well, we've had persons to comment on our stream, and you'll see St. Paul partners responding, and they're not even a part of the digital altar ministry. Well, why? That's the love that St. Paul have for people. That's the culture in which Bishop Guns have built at St. Paul. We are a loving congregation. We instinctively love each other. That's why so many of us are so ready to get back into the building, because we miss that aspect of our culture. But we want you to be able to be that partner as well, that you're living out the love of Jesus Christ, whether you're in Jacksonville or you're in California or you're on the other side of the world. So those were the three aspects of how we begin to define a virtual partner. But it gives us an opportunity to be able to measure our virtual partners' discipleship and holistic life.
Now, I wanted you to hear that, because I think that a part of what we've got to do in this season is to talk intentionally about what does someone look like, or how will we measure and track someone's participation in the time that we're virtual. And since we're going to be virtual for a while, what are you measuring your effectiveness by as a pastor? And what are you measuring your church's effectiveness by? We started to understand that as much as the building may be whatever the building's going to be, unless you just open up full blown and people just come back and sit on top of each other, most of us are not going to be there. So since most of us are not going to be there, and there's still going to be a vast majority of people who are going to be watching, how are we going to measure people's participation? And what is an effective partner going to look like? Now, I know some people don't want to have this philosophical conversation. They just want to open up and go to singing and speaking in tongues and laying hands. I'm not going to be that guy. Let me tell you why. Because I don't want to be on the news. And so the wisdom of this process, and yes, everybody needs to open up. Everybody needs to reopen at some point. I mean, we owe God and the people that. But there's going to be, our numbers, we did a survey. How many of y'all have a survey that you sent out to your partners yet, or your members? How many of you don't have access to a survey model or template? We can send you one. If you want a survey template, we can send you one. I think I send it out to all my sons and daughters at KFI, and we can send you one. And again, and if you got something that can help us, we are all ears, because at this season, we're really trying to grow and trying to get it right. But the one thing that has been so important for us in this season has been trying to collect data and use that data to make decisions that will help us move forward. So in our survey, our first wave of return, which is like almost 200 people, what has come back to us is that, and this really blew my mind, 48% of our partners are ready to come back. 52% are saying that they will come back, but there must be stipulations. No, 22 are saying they will come back, but there must be stipulations. We've got about 40% of our partners saying, I ain't coming back until I don't have to wear a mask. I'm not coming back until there's a vaccine. They are defining participation by the sciences, not by the Holy Ghost. That is messing us up. Because these folk are not, they ain't saying, I was praying and the Lord told me to go back. They say, is that little white man named Fauci, is he good yet? Is the little white man good? Oh, he still say there might be a spike. Oh, wait, no, I'm going to go ahead on and believe the white man. I believe you, Pastor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trust you for Monday through Friday. But Sunday, the little white man is going to talk to me. And you just got to be comfortable with the fact that science is talking more than the Holy Ghost right now. And maybe the Holy Ghost is in the science. So I think that you got to, if you're a pastor, you got to think more than how to get that building open. You got to really think about how do you structure your ministry so Monday through Friday you're providing the services your people need when they may not be able to physically get in the building. Because you cannot do all of the sanitizing stuff and all of the temperature stuff just Sunday. If people start coming in that building consistently, you're gonna have to do it every time somebody walk in the building. Every midweek service, Blake, you're gonna have to do that. You know, Mitch, every time somebody come in there to have a gathering, technically you need to do it. Okay, so any questions, any comments, anything any of you are thinking? It's a small group of us today, so you know we can take you off mute. Is there any comments, any statements, anything anybody wants to offer now? Anything you've been thinking, anything you've been doing that will help us do it better? You know, let's just kind of have a moment. Anything, and then I'm gonna have Ray kind of talk about some of the logistical stuff of building out this virtual system. Anything anybody want to share?
Bishop Guns, I just want to say thank you for having this Zoom call, man. I really appreciate it. It's very insightful, very helpful, and just the camaraderie, just to be able to come on and hear your voice and then see other brothers, other fellow yokemen. We're in this thing together. So thank you so much. And I would like to have that survey emailed to me if I could. Should I just?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
My email on the chat, should I do that?
Yeah, and I also sent you my number.
Okay.
In the chat. So you can email it to me. I mean, you can text it to me.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
And then we'll get it to you. And anybody who wants that survey model, put it in the chat. We will make sure that we reach out to you directly and get it to you. And because if for nothing else, the survey lets you get a sense of what your people are thinking. So whether you got 10 members or 10,000, you at least need to be aware of what they're thinking. Yeah. And you need to, and I think we can also assist if need be in helping you, manage the interpretation of the data. Okay. All right. Anybody else? Okay. Got it. Okay. Perfect. Anybody else? Okay. All right. Ray, why don't you just take a moment to just kind of talk about the building out of the virtual system and just some of the things that you see in this season.
Thank you, sir. Good evening or good afternoon to everyone up here. One of the things that I would echo in what Pastor Cotton said and kind of answering the question Bishop has is you becoming something Pastor Cotton said I started writing down that was key is knowing the culture of your church. I think that that is so key in your ministry in this season. Because the truth is your online presence should be a reflection of whatever that culture is. So people should not just feel it when they come to the building. In preparing and in building the virtual system that we're doing here at St. Paul, a couple of things that we looked at. One is we looked at different points of contact. And so some of the things that we are employing is we're employing our Zoom calls. So we're still meeting by Zoom. Another thing that we've employed is a weekly newsletter. Here's the truth. One of the questions I would ask to the people on the rhetorically is, has every member in your church received a phone call or a point of contact or email or something from somebody in leadership at the church? Here's one of the things that we discovered. we discovered that in reaching out to people, people were so excited to hear that we were checking on them. That within itself was an esteem booster, and it boosted the image of the church, so that people were getting phone calls or emails or people reaching out to simply show that in this season we care about you, and we want to just make sure you're aware. Is there a prayer hotline? Is there a place? Do you have something set up where if someone needs prayer, all of this goes into the virtual that people can reach out to you for? Let's get to social media. Is there someone who actively monitors your page? I think that one of the biggest things, I know that there are a lot of people who have pages represented here. One of the things that I would recommend is making sure that in the people on this room, if you're not the person because you're the pastor, you have someone key who is monitoring your pages. We have begun to see requests come through a bishop and the church's page. And here's the truth. This season has not been great for everyone. Just last week, we received a call from someone. We received a message on the page that one of the service team members responded to from someone who reported that she was being abused. And for her, her point of reaching out was, I have to email the church through Facebook. So those things become important. In building a virtual network as well, one of the things that we looked at are our Facebook Messenger, Facebook groups. Facebook allows you to create social learning units in private groups. What you can do is, as we looked at earlier, our assimilation process, and for those who were on the call last week, our trajectory from the time a person joins or partners with St. Paul or gives their life to Christ is, we have a 5-step process. The first step for us is getting that individual through either our new converts or our new partners orientation. That's something that's done online. So and that's something you can use your Facebook groups to do. You can do it through Google. Google has a free Google Suite for nonprofits. All you have to do is fill out or search Google for nonprofits. All it requires is for you to do is to be able to submit a copy of your 501c3 paperwork. It takes about 48 hours, and then they release and unlock to you everything that Google has with your domain. So if you don't already have personal domains, you can create that. So you can create your Google Classrooms. Being able to literally become virtual for us simply means that being able to, as Pastor Cotton said, whether that is new converts or whether that is our small groups, which is our legs group, being able to disciple online. One of the things that we have discovered that our goal and our plan is we will use our Facebook learning groups to be able to provide content so that when we get together on our Zooms or in our Facebook Messenger rooms, which is another resource that Facebook has just released, then we can actually discuss the information that is there. And Pastor Cotton's job as executive pastor, one of the things that he's doing is he is tracking the trajectory of growth of all of our partners in the small groups. And so the social learning units through Facebook or the Google Classrooms allow an opportunity for him to be able to actually see how far the partners are progressing in a particular area, so we can measure the effectiveness of moving forward, or do we need to stay there a little longer? Mention of Facebook Messenger Rooms. Again, Facebook just released something called Messenger Rooms. Pastor Cotton told us about it. It is amazing. It is simply, it is like Zoom, but it's for Facebook. Here's one of the things that we like about it, that we tried it out. You do not have to have an account with Facebook to be able to get Messenger Rooms. You just need to have downloaded the Messenger app. So what can happen is you can create a room. That room can house up to 50 people. You can share your screen, same as you're doing here, and it allows you. For those people who are streaming, Facebook has started releasing, they did it Easter, and now they're finalizing it. For those people who say, hey, we don't have a way for, everybody's not on Facebook. I've heard that a lot in the last few weeks. Facebook is setting up something where you can create a call-in number, and they can call that number and hear the broadcast live. There is literally in this season no reason how we cannot maximize virtual opportunities. I would also like to share with you as well when we talk about the virtual network, and it kind of goes back to this, is there, and again, I'm assuming most churches represented have at least a Facebook page. We talked about a Facebook learning group, but I would also encourage you to get a group where your partners can kind of get on and fellowship. One of the things that Nona Jones told us is that your live streaming is your Facebook page is your front door to your house. Your live streaming opens the door to that house. But is there a way where people can come in and connect with you throughout the week? One of the things that she challenged us with is she mentioned that there are 168 hours in the week, and for us to look at ways to minister beyond just the live stream moment. And so, again, Facebook group for us, because we have such a large number of people who are following us on Facebook, allows us that opportunity to have a partners only page where anything that deals with the life of the church specific to partners filters through that page. And so we have a particular group or Bible study, we're going to put it there. That way we know our partners are getting it. Instead of just kind of throwing it out on the main page. One of the things that I would encourage everyone on this call to do in this season is to become very specific in targeting your partners. Because the truth is this, statistics show this. Statistics show that the average time that you have to make an impact in this season is 3 seconds. You have 3 seconds from the time someone clicks on whether they click off on you. But then when they click on, what's interesting to note, as 2 weeks ago, we learned that the average person is going to stay on 16 minutes. So the truth is, if you're averaging 400 people on your string, they may not be the same 400 people at the end that were there in the beginning. So there are people who may have missed information that was given in the beginning. So your Facebook group helps to reinforce that. Ultimately, it is the goal for this. Everything that you were doing in your church service when we were in the building, technology affords us the opportunity to do virtually. And so the truth is, one of the things I heard that I have to agree is COVID-19 has put everybody on the same playing field. Whether you have 20,000 members, whether you have 2 members, we all have the same storefront church, as Bishop Gunn says, because we're all on that same playing field. And so the difference is, and then I yield to Bishop, is beyond your Sunday morning, how can you build out your weekly activities online, your discipleship modules online, so that your members will stay engrafted and continue to grow and not just stream? I yield to you, Bishop.
Let me let me kind of close with this, and then I'll then if you have any questions or comments, you can share them. Let me tell you one of the other things, and for people, and for those of you who are up here, let me tell you one of the other things that this season has afforded us to do. A lot of people, the other thing that I discovered the other day, and it really messed me up, and it messed me up really bad, was how many of the people in my young adult group were dealing with some real emotional trauma stuff. One of the, so our young adult leader, Gerard, Sharice said, Bishop, people want to talk to you about where they are, but they're afraid to. She said, so you all send me your struggles and your needs and your whatever, and then I'll pass them on to Bishop. And so she did. And she said, but I'll verbalize mine. She's a highly professional young lady. She's a pharmacist. She's real successful. She's real swag. And she said, but every time I come home by myself, I end up dealing with this intense thing of loneliness. I called Pastor Jeff Dennis. He's up here now. I said, JD, we're dealing with some stuff, and I need some help. I need a counselor. He said, hey, Bishop, listen. He said, man, you ain't got to worry about that. First of all, JD is a member of KFI. Yay. Okay, anyway. So I said, JD, I need some help with this. He said, don't worry. I'll give you I will refer one of my counselors to you to work with you. And so I sat down with our servants team. We came up with 5 areas, and then I sent them to JD. And so what we're gonna, and then there's a church in New Orleans who's gonna partner with us, and we're gonna create Let's Talk virtual groups where people who are struggling with this, with some of this stuff, Spears, and I see the KFI shirt. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, sir. I see the KFI shirt. And so, so the brother, the brother said, Bishop, my church is having some real hard times with this. He's in New Orleans. So we are doing virtual Let's Talk groups with a professional counselor to meet the need of people who are dealing with the emotional trauma of the season. That's the kind of stuff you got to be able to creatively do. Because in this season, you can't do ministry from the pew. You got to do ministry from the screen. So the reason why I've had the last 2 weeks, Cotton and Ray, talking to you is because in a very real way, you need to have different kinds of people talking to you now. The chairman of the deacon board, the chairman of the trustee board that has no technological skills can't be the most important person in your church. Because they're not. Because they have no way of helping your church facilitate its vision. The most important hire I've made in the last few years has been Ray Rouson. And the most important thing Ray has done is giving Cotton a place to be motivated to be what he's supposed to be. So now my whole team is learning new skills. I'm pushing y'all on this, especially my sons and daughters. And so Andrews and Mitch and Blair and Gould, I'm pushing y'all, Napoleon, I'm pushing y'all on this. The reason why I'm pushing y'all on this is because I understand Miles and Spears. If you do not do this virtual thing, do not be stubborn about something that you gonna actually need. Don't be stubborn. Don't be stubborn. Because if another wave hit, you're gonna be right back here. And they are projecting another wave. Don't be stubborn. Hear me. Don't be stubborn. Don't be stubborn. You ain't that anointed. There's a whole lot of folk that speak in tongues and lay hands who are dead because they were determined. There's a man in Richmond. I knew him well. And this brother said he gonna have church regardless. And guess what? He gone. Don't be stubborn. Please, everybody, don't be stubborn. Take the advice that we're giving you. And if you can't take it from us, take it from somebody that's doing it well. Virtual, and don't do virtual church, do a virtual system, all right? So, like the stuff I just gave you, just real simple stuff. And we're gonna put it out there. And if anybody wants their churches to be a part of these virtual Let's Talk groups, you're welcome. Because I promise you, the other thing that's gonna happen is people are gonna appreciate you when you're meeting their needs. And right now, the needs people are having is that they need safe space. All right. Any questions or comments? Okay. Yes.
Bishop. Hey,
yes.
Bishop, can Ray put his information on the screen?
Yes.
For
Ray, you can put your information on the screen. Yes. Ray is one of the best out there. Every morning, I text Ray. I say, go. Because he's the GOAT. Yes, sir. And I'm telling you, him and Cotton is Pippen and Jordan. And I don't know which one is which. It depends upon what day it is. They Pippen and Jordan.
Cotton
and Jordan.
Cotton Jordan.
I'm Pippen.
Cotton is Jordan.
Man, they Pippen and Jordan. I am Bill Winnington. I promise you, I'm just trying to get a ring.
Well, Actually, Bishop is Jordan.
I'm Bill Winnington in this season.
Ray is Rodman. He our defensive player. He got it all.
And he crazy as Rodman too sometimes. So, but I'll say this: if you're interested, we are willing to walk with you through the development of the system. It's the system you're trying to develop. You're not just trying to put up a worship service. And it was so crazy, Pastor Jones. Well, you know, I've known after a long time. It's so crazy, man. One of our young adults said something that messed me up, but I got it. I agreed with it. She said, I went on streaming one Sunday, and the sound was bad, and I ain't watched us since. And she goes to the church. She's faithful, but she says, I ain't watched us since. I gave up on my own church because when the sound was bad, I couldn't waste time with y'all no more. And I couldn't even get mad. Because if I didn't go to St. Paul that Sunday, I would have left. If I wasn't a pastor and I knew who was preaching, I would have said, I'm gonna watch out Jones. I'm gonna watch out there. I'm not watching St. Paul. They're crazy. They willing to make the investment to be great. And so what I'm saying to everybody today, the first thing is sit your team down and really talk through the dynamics of a virtual system. Just don't talk about streaming on Sunday. But even on Sunday, how are you capturing information? How are you taking this information and converting it into more than likes and views? I got the most incredible test, Pastor Gerard. I got the most incredible confirmation ever. I've been doing these things on Thursday. I'll close with this. Doing these things on Thursday. And last week we had Bill Curtis and Cynthia Held and a pastor out of Cleveland, Courtney Clayton Jenkins, and man, people didn't like. I mean, I got like 3 and 4 likes on the flyers. We ended up with 17,000 views. So what dawned on me was the likes and the views don't matter. If people click on your stuff, it don't mean nothing. Likes and views don't matter. What matters, and so the Lord started whipping me. Stop looking at other folks' likes and views. There's one word for everybody in this season: impact. Watch how God's going to honor your voice if you stay consistent. Ray said 2 words to me the second week in March when all this jumped off. Ray said, Bishop, we got to be consistent and we got to be excellent. He said 2 words: consistency and excellence. So if you consistently offer a quality product to people, and then you consistently offer them what they need, and you meet them at their needs, and you keep building on your system. So keep building on it, keep building on it, keep building on it, keep building on it. You don't have to do the Bible study every week. You can find another creative way to do things, right? Keep building on it. You know, man, we're getting ready to offer financial stewardship stuff through Zoom for our members. Keep building on it. Keep building on it. Yes. Last thing. This is after this last thing. For every pastor up here, every preacher, I want to invite you to join us and register for seminary on Sunday. If you haven't heard about it, 8-9 weeks ago, I started this thing every Sunday at 3 o'clock on preaching, and it has morphed into something amazing. Just go check it out, seminaryonsunday.com. I want to encourage all my sons and daughters to register. I do not have the coronas. I want to encourage everybody to register. And, well, you know, every time you cough, you got to tell people, I don't have it. I just cough, right? So, but you know, go check it out. It is absolutely going to be groundbreaking in terms of preaching. The goal is to assist you in the development of your preaching. We got John Kinney, Carolyn Knight, Claiborne Lee, Jerry Carter, Gina Stewart, Chris Davis are going to all be leading sessions between July and December. It's absolutely going to be crazy. And we're going to work with everybody individually on your preaching and helping you to improve the quality of your preaching. No matter how good you are, you can always get better. So if you're interested, go to seminaryonsundays.com right now. And Sunday, you can tune in for free. My brother, Dr. Jeffrey Guns, will be leading the session at 3 o'clock, and we will send you, we'll post it on social media, but we'll also send it to you. So if you want to jump on, you can do that. All right? All right. Any questions or comments? I would encourage you to register for Seminary on Sunday. It's going to absolutely be amazing. It's going to absolutely be amazing. Okay. Any questions or comments? Okay. If you want us to send you Any of the information. Okay, there it is. Thank you. If you want us to send you any of the information, please put your email address in our in the chat, and we will record it. And then Napoleon, who's amazing at that kind of stuff, will definitely get the information out to you. So this is the Fly on Seminary on Sunday, and we would encourage you to do it. We promise you it's going to be amazing. It's going to be absolutely amazing 6 months. It'll change your life. It's $250, but you can't pay for one credit hour, $250. And you're going to get several hours of information on preaching. So, all right. If there are no other comments or questions, no other concerns, thank you all. Yes, and we're going to be providing CEUs. And so that's going to be amazing. We will be back again next Friday, 4 o'clock, and we'll just kind of, wrap up what we're doing, and we'll talk about some of the final pieces in terms of reopening and how reopening looks and that kind of thing. So you're welcome to invite other pastors and other people who are leading ministries or serving in ministries to get on and participate. All right. So, okay. If everybody's good, thank you all for getting on. Man, we're just trying to make it do what it do, right? So if you need us, we're here. And Cotton as well, put your information in there up there too, and people can get your information. All right. Thank you guys so much. And again, we're all in this together. So let's hold each other up. All right. All right.
Thanks, Bishop. Thank you,
everybody.
Thank you,
All right. Okay. Take care. Jones, I sent you my number.
Thank you, Bishop. Love you, man.
All right. Love you too, man. All right, y'all. Peace, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.